Before the start of this video, I'd just like to tell everyone to go check out The Masked Man. His channel has just got a third strike, and as a result it's now frozen. He's a fellow YouTuber and I'm a big fan of his channel, so if everyone wants to check him out, that would be good. Hashtag free masked. Baki is batshit, and I love it. It has been a while since the show really hooked me like this one did, so as a treat for myself, I'm going to spend the next 10 or so minutes gushing about the beauty of this series. So if you've watched either the early 2000s Baki the Grappler anime or Netflix's 2018 Baki series, then you are fully qualified to watch this video, and if you haven't, well, be prepared for some minor spoilers. Baki is a manga written and illustrated by Kisuke Itagaki, sorry if I'm butchering that, who, like many mangakas, is not only a brilliant artist but also has a very severe muscle fetish. And if you have watched the anime and somehow disagree, then please take a look at some of these manga panels. Yikes, these are some grotesquely muscular men. And for like the first time ever, the muscles are accurate. Well, not in their extreme proportions of course, but in their placements and whatnot. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the characters in Baki, unlike every other manga, have 6 packs and not 8 packs or 10 packs or however many packs this is. But back to the series itself. Baki is about a person called Baki, who could have guessed, and Baki has one goal in life: to become the ultimate grappler, by which he means he just wants to be the strongest person on Earth, which is very different from Goku, who wants to be the strongest, or Luffy, who wants to become the Pirate King, or Midoriya, who wants to become the #1 hero. And the reason he's doing this is because he wants to surpass his father, who is the current strongest man, and as a result the strongest grappler. And if this sounds very tropey, well, that's because it is, but damn it, there is nothing wrong with tropes. They are tropes for a reason. So yeah, Baki is a pretty generic shonen protagonist, but wait, no he's not. He develops from a spunky kid to a confident and at times, let's be honest, kind of cocky fighter. He contemplates the ethics of fighting wild beasts, goes through extreme trauma, and not only gets a girl but also does the hanky panky, if you know what I mean, with her, something that took Naruto over 700 chapters to do. Baki feels more human than many other protagonists, and throughout at least the early parts of the series, he's doing nothing but grinding as he tries to get strong enough to fight his father, Yujiro Hanma, the King. And damn, he definitely deserves that title. Yujiro Hanma is not only my favourite character in Baki, he's also in serious contention for my top 50 anime characters list, which is a very impressive feat indeed. Whereas some anime dads are off working overseas, or off being musicians, or lead the Revolution Army, or work as a pro hunter, Yujiro is just an arsehole, plain and simple. He is a ruthless killer, an egotistical bastard, and someone who will happily beat his own son to a pulp just for the fun of it. Yujiro is evil, and is an awful father, but I just love him. And basically, in most battle manga, in order to show how far the protagonist needs to go, the mangaka will show off a top tier character early on, characters that the main cast would stand no chance against. I personally love these kind of characters, which is why I love Shanks, Milk and Whitebeard for One Piece so much, as they're some of the strongest characters in that series, and are seen fairly early on in the grand scheme of the story. And Yujiro is just like this. We meet him pretty early on, and from the get-go we know he's not only the strongest man alive, but he's also miles ahead of anyone else in the series. I mean, just before Baki's first fight with his dad, we meet a character called Gaia. He is the ultimate soldier, able to control his adrenaline, and is an expert in all types of environmental combat. And he is hyped up quite a bit, to the point where some people say he is equal to Yujiro. So what do you think Yujiro does? He beats the shit out of Gaia, of course, and makes him bow to him. It's such a flex, and when an earthquake is going to interrupt Baki and Yujiro's fight, the mad lad simply punches the ground and stops the earthquake. And this may not sound too impressive on its own when compared to like any of Goku's feats past the King Piccolo arc, but it's like nothing else in this series, considering the majority of the cast are just very strong martial artists who can destroy walls or cars at best. So yes, Yujiro is not only the best dad in anime, but also the strongest dad in anime. But going back to the show as a whole, Baki is very tropey, and there is tournament arcs and training arcs and characters who are villains who often become allies, and even a pseudo Z-Fighter squad. But it deviates away from these tropes in a way that keeps them fresh. For example, in the Escaped Convicts arc, 5 different inmates escape prison simultaneously and come to Tokyo to fight Baki. Why? Because they want to feel defeat? Yes, it's very batshit. And so a mini tournament is set up between the 5 inmates and the 5 Z-Fighters, which means they can just fight at any point, anywhere. And logic would dictate that each of the 5 inmates would be taken down by one of the 5 Z-Fighters. But no, that doesn't happen. In fact, only 2 of the Z-Fighters actually take down any of the inmates, with the third parties taking out the rest of them. So yeah, in this case, expectations were thrown out the window in favour of matchups no one could predict. I mean, one prisoner loses the before mentioned Gaia, who at this point in the series hadn't been seen for like 40 episodes. So in this case, Baki is a trope breaker, but in other ways it still respects the time-old battle manga tropes. But that is enough talking about tropes, as what I really want to discuss in this video is what I think is the true merit of this show, And it isn't flexes, even though yes, this series does excel at the old flexing. No, the true merit of Baki is its heart. Even though Baki is over the top, with people literally fighting the Statue of Liberty, other people implanting every joint of their body with hidden blades, it is never played for comedy. That is because the show treats these flexes and, let's be honest, bullshit feats with the utmost seriousness and sincerity. Because in the Baki universe, no one will question you if you can turn invisible by covering yourself in sand, or that you can run across a river by moving your legs fast enough. I mean, in the show you can legit get a massive power boost from having sex. That's a legit thing that happens. Not only do people not question this, they can also kind of sense it. Like at one point Baki has sex and gets stronger, and one of the criminals says that he has matured and as a result has become a true man, and he just gets ridiculously more strong. Logic 100. These are the kind of things that you could easily find in a comedy series like Gintama as a parody of over-the-top battle manga, but as I keep saying, it ain't a joke. The stakes in Baki are high, with people dying or being brutally beaten to an inch of their life, and the characters understand all this. It's a very serious show with bits of comedy, yes, but nothing to detract from the overall feel of danger that a stupidly strong fighter could come out of blimmin' nowhere and break any of the main characters' legs. But then in these tense fights, where life and death is on the line, something as stupid as the fight moving onto a roller coaster, or one of the combatants becoming hypnotised, but then fighting in the hypnotised state, only to win because the movements of their opponent in real life were exactly the same as their movements in the guy's hypnotised mind. Yeah, as I said, batshit. See, it's humorously stupid stuff, but combine humorously stupid stuff with high stakes and you get a unique experience called Baki. And don't get me wrong, Baki is way more than just over the top fights that are treated with the utmost seriousness. Some of my favourite scenes in the whole series are those where Baki is contemplating, by which I mean he's meditating in his weird tree. After fighting the Asha ape, a giant feral Sasquatch looking ape thing, Baki can't decide if he won or not. Why? Well, because he couldn't work out if he and the ape had actually fought. As far as Baki was concerned, he had attacked a wild animal without provocation and the beast had just defended itself. It wasn't a match, and it wasn't really a fight. It was survival for the ape. Considering how killing animals is used as a sign of strength at many points in the series, be it bears, lions or tigers, seeing a character within the story worry over the ethics of fighting animals is for me at least amazing, and not only some good world building, but just a unique part of this show that I really appreciate. And that's not all. We see Baki get genuinely depressed and set out to change himself, and change he does. Baki grows from his trauma and becomes a better and stronger person as a result, through a time skip. Yes, I said this show is tropey, so it has time skips. Baki is not the first protagonist to do these things, obviously, but he's a great example of how to do it right. Baki hates his father as a person, but has the utmost respect for him as a fighter. And why is that? Because Baki is both a man and a grappler. But of course Baki is not the only standout character in this amazing show. Hanayama is a Yakuza thug that went from trying to kill Baki to become one of his greatest allies. Bit like Piccolo. But anyway, he listened to Baki after his mother had basically disowned him and taught him an important lesson. And then later when Baki was struggling with the relationship with his girlfriend Kozue, Hanayama was there to act as the bad guy in order to aid the two of them on their journey forwards. So it is confirmed Hanayama is best Jobro. With the exception of you, Speedwagon, of course. Of course. And obviously the amazing characters don't end there. My boy Biscuit Oliver is a criminal who hunts other criminals in exchange for living a lavish life in prison. Which, let's be real, this prison is just Oliver's personal mansion. So basically Oliver's just a more badass pro prisoner, and I love it. And although I could spout off more amazing characters and their backstories, what really would be the point in that? Baki as a series is an over-the-top martial arts battle manga, with some of the most bizarre fights ever put to paper, and some of the most thought-provoking scenes on whether you should fight wild animals to test your strength. And just in case anyone isn't clear, you shouldn't do it, it's just animal cruelty. But who cares, in Baki we get to see a Russian wrestler wrestle a giant anaconda in an underground fighting circuit below the Tokyo Dome. What a mad time. So okay, the video really was a 10-minute ramble. In my script it's written I was meant to say, so that okay, this video really isn't the 10-minute ramble I said it would be, but it turns out it is. But anyway, at the end of the day, this is more of a filler upload, while I work on bigger and better things behind the scenes. Not that anyone watches this far into my videos anyway. So actually, here's a social experiment. If you made it this far into the video, then comment the words Baki is a bloke. And since my 200 subscribers are so loyal, I don't expect to see a single Baki is a bloke in the comment section of this video. Oh yeah, that's the thing, we reached 200 subs, which yes is a rather small number, but for me, someone who's been making videos for over a year now, that's really exciting. And sorry there won't be a milestone special like there was for 100 subs, as I'm saving my next special for 250 subs, which may be sooner than I thought thanks to the rate at which you have all been smashing that subscribe button. But I've been padding time for way too long. I guess we will transition to the outro. Follow my Twitter at SethTheS and my Instagram at SethTheSin_cosplay. Also remember to like, subscribe and comment Baki is a bloke down below. With all that said, I've been Seth the Sin, the Deadly Sin of Geek, and I am signing out. Stay safe at home everyone.